What's good people, and welcome back to the channel here on Kruboy Productions. My name is BK, and this is the Silly, Nerdy, and Wordy podcast, episode number 70. And this episode is I finally watched Sinners. Here's my take. And in this episode, I'm going to be talking about the film Sinners that was released in April of this year. Obviously, I am late to the party, but there's a reason for that. And so let's get right into this film. What's going on, everybody? I hope everybody is doing very well and happy to be back doing another episode. And so I'm going to be talking about Sinners. And yeah, I am late to the party on Sinners. And the reason why I didn't initially see it in April or May is because my initial thoughts of the trailer, I thought it was more on the horror side. And obviously I did see it recently and it's not. There are some horror elements. I'm glad I saw it. I'm late to the party, but hey, better late than never. And I am a one-man show, so I do everything. I write, produce, edit, publish, produce everything. Takes me time to get this stuff out, you know? And this film is directed by the great Ryan Coogler. He's becoming one of my favorite directors. He is one of my favorite directors. His previous projects include Fruitvale Station, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Creed back in 2015. So he's getting a good bit of things under his belt. And now let's get into the cast. And the cast includes Michael B. Jordan, Haley Steinfeld, Omar Benson Miller, Delroy Lindo, Jack O'Connell, Miles Canton, Tenjaya L. Jackson, and Lee Jun Lee. So that is the cast. And this film is set in the year during the time period of 1932. And this film did start out a little slow for me. And it also did the thing where you tell the story backwards. And so it starts out with the character of Sammy. He goes to his father's church as they're having service. His guitar is broken. He's got this scar on his face, and you see that. And then we go back and see what has led up to that. And then that's where the story goes. So this for me was a slow build, but it was slow build in a good way, and it was intentional. So I definitely did enjoy it. And for me, it really picked up in the second act of the film as the story continued to go. And pretty much Michael B. Jordan's characters, he's playing two roles. They're brothers. They come home after being in Chicago, and they're setting up this nightclub or a juke joint, as it said in the 1932s. And so they're doing all these things to get it together, purchasing the building, getting the food, getting the drinks, getting the entertainment. So they're doing all those things to get it together. And the music throughout this film is really good. Of course, the composer is Ludwig Göransson. Ludwig is also an executive producer on this film, and I get into that on the previous episode where I talk about some production information and how Ludwig's dual role, as well as how Ludwig's wife is involved as an executive producer also, and how Ryan Coogler's wife is also involved as a producer on this film. You can check that out on episode 69. I will link the episode in the description of this particular episode. And so all of them had a hand in the music. And particularly when I talk about the music, there is one particular scene where the character of Sammy starts playing in the juke joint, and it goes through this musical trance, this kind of a timeline. And you see all the different people, different artists, different instruments, the styles of all the people from different times, from back then, 1932, to the 70s, to the 80s, to the 90s, to the current day. There's tools and music and instruments that are used. So that was a very cool, a very nice sequence that happened at that point in the film. And of course, Ludwig had a big hand in creating that, along with his wife and with Ryan, the director. So great stuff throughout the whole film. And in terms of a standout. The standout for me, I would say, obviously, is the lead, Michael B. Jordan, especially him having to play two roles. And I would also say there wasn't an additional standout, but I'll say the cast, the rest of the cast as a whole, the ensemble cast, everyone together was just really, really great in terms of everyone involved. Really, really enjoyed it. And then also, I do want to talk specifically about Michael B. Jordan. Now, obviously, he played two roles in this film, the role of Stack and the role of Smoke. And it was just, for one, I enjoyed his performance. And then also, recently I had a really good friend of mine recently shared a short TikTok video in regards to this film, where one of the actors is in a IMAX theater, it appears, and the actor I'm referring to is Omar Benson Miller. He is in this film, and I can't think of the name of his character's role right now, but he was the security guard at the juke joint, and he's talking to this audience that was in the IMAX theater, appears maybe after or before they see the film. And he's talking about the technology that was used in this film. It's Halo technology. And so Michael had to perform, and I'm paraphrasing this, I'm taking this from him. Omar explained this well, and I have the link to this description in terms of this actual TikTok video. You can see it and check it out. But pretty much he was saying he had to wear this Halo technology to be able to play himself twice. So he would go into character and be the role of Stack and then do that role and act it out with all of his scene partners in that role, right? And then he would get out of that, go back and change and come back as Smoke and do those scenes again in the totally different character and have this Halo technology, which Omar said that this had about 30 or so cameras in it. So that's how you're able to see Michael B. Jordan side by side, and you don't really see too much of a difference because of this great technology that is now available to the director to use. So that's just a little bit of a behind the scenes thing that it happened in this film. And I think there's a short clip of it going around where I think it has been shown online, but I wanted to specifically mention that. So there's just some of the technical things that were going on with this film and that allowed Michael B. Jordan to be beside himself as we see in the movie. So really, really great job by him doing that and the discipline to do that. All of his scenes twice, especially when they're both in scene together. So really, really enjoyed that. And again, the video of the TikTok video of Omar explaining this is in the description. You can check it out of him explaining that. Okay, let's move on to the rest of this film. It was just very well put together. It was a slow burn, intentional building up to this point. And there were some horror elements, but ultimately the horror element is the vampires. And that's what this was. And so I really enjoyed how the story progressed and how each of the different characters played a key role in the story. They played their role well. And in the trailers we've seen, and in the stills, we've seen Michael B. Jordan and the character of Sammy, which I believe is the actor Miles Canton. You see them hugging, you see that expression on their face. We don't know what it is at the time when the trailers are releasing, and then we see the movie. We know what it is. We know what led to that point. And so just great emotional depth, and the music was a character in this film. The music added to this film all the way throughout it, and all the different musicians and the different styles and the different genres. So honestly, I don't really have anything bad to say about this film. This was just so good. And then also there was a post-credit scene, and that was unexpected and very well done. A post-credit scene time jumped into the 90s, based off of what we saw in terms of the clothing. So that was pretty cool to see. I don't believe there's going to be a sequel. I know there have been some people, or at least online, clamoring for it to be a sequel, but I don't think Ryan's going to do that. It's more so of a one-off, which is a great one-off, but I just really, really enjoyed this film. And then also, as a nerdy note, at the beginning of the film, we always see these production companies come up before you get into the actual film with the actors on screen. Well, one of the companies you see is called Proximity Media. And that company is founded by Ryan Coogler and his wife, Zinzi Coogler. So when you see that at the beginning of the film, that's her and the husband and wife team's company. So that's just a nice, cool thing to see. Now, in terms of, is this rewatchable again? Is it Blu-ray worthy? Yes, yes, and yes. Yes, it is. It's definitely worth a rewatch. I've enjoyed this film, and I think many people should check it out, and I see how successful it has become. So this was a great film. Again, pretty much nothing bad to say, and even the way the villains were positioned, very well done as well. So I would say just great job by everyone involved, and just great storytelling, great character building and character development, and things happened the way that they happened. So I enjoyed this film. Is there anything else that I want to cover? I would say no. Again, and also I would say I have a production deep dive where I talk about the Ludwig's second role as being an executive producer, as well as Ryan's wife and Ludwig's wife involved on the production side of this film. I talked about that in episode number 69. I will link it in the description of this episode. So go ahead and check it out and see how they were able to develop this film on the music side, being producers and executive producers. So just very cool that it's a family affair that they were able to get involved. All right, that is gonna be all I have for this episode, and hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts. Did you see the Sinners film? And if so, what did you think about it? I would love to hear your comments about it. And you can also listen to this episode and previous episodes if you want to listen. Just search for the Silly, Nerdy, and Wordy podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Amazon Music, and wherever you get your podcasts. Just search for the podcast and follow it. And then also leave a review and leave a rating and let me know your thoughts about it. Of course, you can subscribe here to the channel and leave a like, and that's it for today. So until next time, we will talk soon.